Okay. All right, so negative 35 and number 4, we are doing 9 and 10 from the homework. So here we go. X minus 35, X plus 4. Okay. Now, any questions so far? Okay, so what is our next step? Because of this A coefficient, what did we have to do next?
You have to like bring down the 7.
Yes.
Like divided by like both numbers and the parentheses.
All right. So I think I'll do blue. One of these does not work. So we're gonna, Jenny, this is where it came in. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got -5 and 4 7.
Yes. Okay. Now, one more thing I have to teach you is the factoring part, which it'll all come back to FOIL, which we did a couple days ago. Okay, so it's all going to come back together. This will make FOIL look like it's elementary. Okay, so on your midterm exam, you're going to be given one of these with the coefficient of not 1. Okay, so we're going to set it equal to 0, but all you're expected to do is factor, and you're just going to have A, B, C, and D. So all we're doing is factoring. We're not done here is my point. Okay, this 7 comes back into play. All right. Guys, what's 35 divided by 7? You should have already done this part. Okay, so here we go. X minus 5. Now, we don't want to, who likes fractions? No one, right? So watch what I'm getting ready to do. Okay, this is the only new step. Katie, can you see? Do I need to move it up?
Yes, that's good.
Okay. All right, so in normal fractions, how do you get rid of the fraction? You multiply by the
Yeah.
denominator.
I remember that.
All right, y'all remember that? I don't even know what grade you learned that. Do y'all know?
No, I have to already.
Like, you learn it like a couple years and then you don't learn it in 1 year and then you address it. Watch, okay? This is kind of the really fun trick on factoring, and I have a funny story. If I have time later, I will tell you.
So you bring the 7 to like the ends and then add it by 4.
7 times x plus 4.
So this is how you solve this problem?
That's how you factor. Now, we're going to do another one because it's almost too quick. But if you notice, I didn't do anything with this because I'd already simplified it. When you factor, you don't have fractions in your answer. Okay, so this is where to get rid of the fraction, you multiply by the denominator. And it's kind of like, oh my goodness, that's your best friend. Okay, so A, B, C, or D, here it is right here. You're done. So now I am going to use this. Is there a room right there? About right here. Let's do FOIL and check. So let's take this. This kind of helps us with FOIL as well. Okay, so let's use FOIL to check our answer. We want it to be this 7x minus 31x minus 20. What are the first terms? X and 7x is 7x squared. So far, so good. O stands for outside. X and 4 is positive 4x. I is inside, negative 5, and 7x is negative 35x. And last term is negative 5. Thank you. Sorry, I'm making sure my paper. Negative 5 and 4 is, somebody said, thank you, minus 20. Now, always, I've told you this middle term is you can simplify. What's 4x and negative 35x?
Negative 31.
And that, my friends, is the right trinomial. You see how you get there? That needs to equal that. Okay? Oh, this class goes so quick. It is really ridiculous. Okay. I'm going to come back to this probably tomorrow. I want to start the imaginary numbers. It's just easy, and I want you to get this done, and we'll move on. Okay? So let's readdress this. I'm really ready to move on with factoring. I love it so much, but I want to get imaginary numbers finished. So, new section. I'm going to call it day 1 because that's how LMS is set up. I'm going to have 2 videos, not day 1. Guys, my pens are slowly dropping. All right, we are doing, I need to do this. The fancy word is called complex numbers.
Wait, that says day what?
Day 1. I got messy there. Tomorrow will be day 2, and that is the last lesson of 2020. Thank you. I know, isn't it? Who's ready for 21?
Oh, I am. I'm hoping 2021 be like a way better stellar year than 2020.
Katie, Ashley, can that orange show up for y'all? Is that okay? I don't have much left. I need new pens, obviously. All right, so we're going to talk about imaginary numbers, complex numbers. This is a number that doesn't necessarily exist in the two-dimensional math world. That's all I'm going to say to that. It is basically real numbers on a number line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, versus irrational numbers. You know, remember when you learned that, the decimals that keep going and keep going? Okay, This is similar to that. Let me give you an example and you'll see. Somebody have a calculator handy? Go for it. Put this in your calculator. Square root of negative 27. Should get no solution. Let me tell you why. Now do square root of 27. Take out that negative and let's look at the difference.
5.1961.
It keeps going. Okay, so what made it no solution? The negative. It just doesn't look right, does it? It's just not right. So here is where I just think this is fun, and you're going to be like, that's it? Yeah, that's really it. What letter is that?
Cursive I.
To be specific, lowercase cursive I. All right? Now, we're not done. I say that because the square root of 27 can be simplified, okay? Do we like square roots? Now I need a quick refresher. So what that I is, all I did was take out that negative and it turned into what, Taylor?
An imaginary number.
That's right, that's why it's I. Okay? All I did, first thing, really the only new concept today is this negative comes out and it becomes an imaginary number. Okay, there is some value here and we'll come to that in a minute. But mathematically, for this to work, all you do is you take out an I. Take out the negative and it becomes an I. Yes, ma'am.
So does that apply to any number? So any number will become imaginary if it's got a negative, or?
Yeah, and the square root. Okay, good question. Because of what we just did on the calculator, you can't have a negative square root. Okay? So the powers that be, the mathematicians long time ago, created this imaginary number. And like I said, there's some value here. It'll come up in a minute. Let's just do this and I'll show you. 27. Think of factors of 27 that could possibly have a perfect square.
9.
Thank you. 9 times 3. Why is 9 important? We talked about this a little bit yesterday. 9 is a perfect square. What is the square root of 9?
3.
3. Okay, guys, here is your answer.
Something similar to this tonight.
Yeah, I did this last week.
It depends on how far you got, ninth grade. Yeah, I actually had to ask a couple teachers. I don't know what you did in ninth grade. I'm teaching them right now, but either way, I'm gonna rehash as much as I can. Quick review, okay? Where did this 3 come from?
The 9.
The 9. What's the square root of 9? 3. Where did that I come from? The negative. That negative can't be there, therefore it becomes an I. And where is this 3?
From,
Right there.
that's the second.
Yeah. That's it. Okay, let's do another one. My orange and my pink are my go-tos right now. All right, let's do one more of this level. Negative 216. If you don't remember, I'll help you with that. First thing first, take out that negative. That negative becomes an I outside. Okay, I personally, as a teacher, I like to do these in different steps, one thing at a time. So first thing is take out the negative. Now we need to focus on this 216. I told you yesterday, and there's nothing ever wrong with this, guys. Find a perfect square that goes into 216. I know it because I just looked. I will give you a hint. Where do you start? Always look at the ones place. Think of a perfect square that ends in 6.
36.
Bingo. Okay, do you see how that helped? Think of, it'll trial and error. Get that calculator out. Y'all are good at that. You're better at it than I am. 216 divided by 36 is 6. All right, so here we go. We have 36 times 6. Again, I just rehashed 36. You need a perfect square. The key is, guys, you need the biggest perfect square. So, didn't mean to change colors. Square root of 36 is 6. I, 6. All right, I want you to do this one by yourself. Square root of negative 18. Hello? Yes? Okay. Bye-bye. Here you go. The video will be on LMS. I'll post it within the hour. So, do see. No, we'll talk about it. No, there's one answer. Hopefully I can find one that may happen. I have a couple of mini problems to do, and this is as hard as we're going to get today. Tomorrow, we're going to get into FOIL using imaginary numbers. To me, it's a lot of fun. So here, who wants to do this one out loud with me? Taylor, go for it.
So, what I did is like, since the negative 18, since it's like an imaginary like number, it means that I took eliminated the negative
Mhm.
or like the square root of 18.
There you go.
I put the cursive lowercase cursive I, like the outside of the square root of 18, and then the numbers I chose to make it 18 is like 9 times 2.
Does that look familiar? Does that sound familiar? You should have chosen 9 and 2. All right, keep going.
Well, since in 3, since it's like not a perfect
You need a
square,
perfect square. That's the key.
and so I chose like 9 and 2, and so the square root of 9, it makes it like 3. I put it on the outside of the square root with like the imaginary like and then the 2 goes inside the square root.
Excellent. Who got it right? All right, so you need that perfect square because you're trying to simplify as much as you can. All right, I'm going to change it up a little bit. This is, do I have room? I'm going to change papers. Can I move this? Okay. Let's see. I'll just stick with my letters today. All righty. D. Negative 5i times 3i. Now, there's something you don't know, and it is, I'll write it up here. I is simply I to the first power. I squared, guess what? This is where there's value. I times I, negative 1. This, I will explain that in a minute. Just trust me when I say I squared, I times I is negative 1. So looking at D, this is so simple, you know how to do it, all right? What's negative 5 times 3? Negative 15. I times I is I squared. Now, is y'all okay with that? I times I, it's like a variable. But we're talking about an imaginary number. Okay, so this is negative 15. I squared, we know to be what?
Negative 1.
Negative 1. So the answer to this is simply 15. Told you it was fun, right? Okay. Do this one by yourself. 3i times 4i. Three times 4 is what? 12. I times I is I squared, but we know it has a value. I squared is negative 1. I told you it was. Okay, so what's the answer?
Negative 12.
All right, I'm going to put F over here, just because I need to keep. There's a lot of problems you can do with this. All right, let's do this one because you have been told this is a prime answer. Now, mathematically, what do?
You subtract the 64 from the
Okay. X squared equals negative 64. I got ahead of myself. To do that, you're going to take the square root of both sides. Square root of x squared is simply x. Now, I'm going to stop there because I feel like I'm going too fast.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, this might take a second to remember. Square root of x squared is simply x. Here's where we have an issue because we know we can't have a negative in the square root. What do I do with that negative? It's an imaginary number. Okay,
Wait, why just put the square root over 64?
Because I'm trying to get x by itself.
So you just put it there, you don't like it.
Well, to solve for x by itself, when it's squared, you square root both sides. Okay. I'll come back. So here we go. So the square root of 64 is simply 8. To be a little more specific, I feel like I'm,
So that 8i?
yeah, that was really messy. That is, sorry. Do you remember, and this is where I need to, why do I have plus or minus? Yeah. What's negative 8 times negative 8? Positive 64. I don't love this problem. Do you have one of these on your midterm? You're welcome. Merry Christmas. Let's do G. You will have some of these. I think these are the easiest part, to be honest. This is what one of your IXLs is on. It kind of gets monotonous, to be honest.
Go over the one we had over the weekend, because I am missing one, and I guess I got so many wrong stuff working. Literally, I had missing one, right? I don't understand.
I have no idea what you just said.
Okay, 5, I don't understand that.
Okay, I don't think give me a minute. Let me finish this, okay? And then if I have, well, yeah, I'll have time. I think G, to be honest, I think this is easier than A. You just combine like terms. That's all you do. So let's look at our numbers. What's 5 plus 2? 7. So you have negative 7 and positive 4i. Treat it like a variable. How many imaginary i's do we have?
2.
Try again.
3, negative 3.
There you go.
Wait, what? How's it?
Negative 7 plus 4.
Um,
I knew you had it in you.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No, it's okay. I'll do one more. I'm doing a lot and I'm going fast only because I think I can. 4 minus 8i. I am going to throw in a nice negative. 3 minus 6i. Simplify. Look at your numbers. Look at your imaginary terms. Watch your negatives though. If you like adding the opposite, if you did that a couple years ago, I don't know how you like to do it. What's 4 minus 3? 1. Who got that? All right, halfway done. All right, let's do our i's. How many i's do we have? Negative 2. Negative 8i minus negative 6i. It's kind of like you add the opposite. Negative 2i. Think again. Look, negative 8i minus, and if you like, I'm serious, if you like adding the opposite, guys, go for it. I'm going to stop there, okay? Tomorrow we will do a little bit of dividing and FOIL and all that. Your IXLs, you have 2. On LMS, I wrote I1 and I4. I wrote a baby I, or I'm sorry, lowercase I, just so you can tell it's an I. It's like it's got the dot and everything.
So
I1 and I4. It's all posted. I was supposed to do 2 things. I know, what was the other thing I was going to do? Oh, you want me to tell you why I squared is negative 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me do Jenny. Y'all start your IXLs. That's 2 IXLs due tomorrow. Okay, you have, what, 8 minutes left?
Yeah.
All right.
I think everything is stopped working on mine.
Jenny, I didn't need to do this.